Hello, welcome. This is my first video in a very long time. I decided it's time to bring back some videos. I want to do something on the side, get a little change from work. And I've been enjoying playing Farming Simulator in the last little while, so I figured with the new game coming out this week, might as well warm myself up and possibly make some videos. Now, I haven't played this map in a very long time. I like it. Windsbach. I'd use a lot of mods. I find they do tend to make the game better in some ways, just because they allow you to have so much more equipment that you didn't have before. But anyways, basically in this series, what I want to do, I want to make just some basic videos, nothing crazy. I don't want to do any cheats or anything. I do want to play it, straight on. I'll use GPS mod and course play to the best of my abilities, but that's about as far as I'd go. Now, if we look at the map, we only got 2 fields. The game is set at hard. I wanted to give myself a little bit of a challenge and see where I can take it. Now, this map does start you with a lot of equipment. Quite a bit of equipment, in fact. Some forestry equipment, a couple tractors, combine, plows, seeders, anything you really need to get your farm going. Not necessarily that I care about that too much, but we'll take it. So I suppose first thing I should do, and I'll take this nice Fendt tractor here. I want to go check out and see what the status of field number 4 is, see if we can't get something going there. Now I do use an iPad with control buttons on it. I find it makes the game so much better to be able to control that those functions with the iPad rather than the keyboard. Gives it a little bit of a realistic feel to it, because most tractors do have a control panel off to your right. So that's what I use. I also use 2 joysticks for when I use something like the Scorpion King or the Buffalo to do forestry projects or anything other than some crane. So that's what I do for those. Now I will be doing some forestry at some point. I do work in the forestry industry right now, so I have a little bit of a background with it. I think that I'd like to try out some of the things I learned from my guys and actually apply them myself. So this looks to be field number 4. Now, it was canola and it's harvested, so we do definitely need to cultivate it. I imagine it would need plowing. So while we drive back, I don't think for this one I'm going to plow it. I do have seasons turned on, and I don't want to do 9 days. We'll do 3. Snow, will keep it at 1 layer. That way we get at least some of the features out of it. So I want to head back here. Might as well go get the cultivator. Get going on this farm. It's actually a fairly nice tractor. Start up. Compact, nothing fancy. So we'll just park here. Let's see, we got the cultivators right behind the case tractor. I do not like these doors. I always get them mixed up. There we go. Alright, let's fire this bad boy up. Now for the cultivator, I don't need any crazy anything crazy, so might as well use this bad boy. Jump out, get attached, and break off. One thing I do know that's not going to go very well here is the fact that this tractor here is a manual. Let's see if I can't change those settings. Yeah, there we go. Alright. Park this guy here. And then put you in there for now. So like I said, I wanna make it as realistic as I can. I mean, yeah, there will be limitations. I just remembered that I also have this tractor in here, but I think that one's a smaller one than the case, so I'll keep using the case for the cultivator at least. I don't think the weight will give me any problems. Doesn't seem to be tipping too bad. I don't think we have... No, we don't have any front weights anywhere. So let's just take this bad boy down to the field and see what we can do. Find ourselves up here, so I'll start on the far end. What I want to do here is do a couple runs. Myself. So, let's turn on our GPS. Working with turn this way. Now I know I say I want to play this realistic as possible, and then I use a GPS spot on a tractor that clearly does not have it. But it just makes life so much easier to have that. So let's just roll with it. Just as I imagined, she'll sink. Ground response, or four-wheel drive. There we go. Easy does it. I'll just turn that off for now. I'll have to get this tractor converted to a CVT transmission at the shop. I do like the mod, don't get me wrong on that, but I find that it makes it really hard to use when you can't shift with a nice gear shifter. I do have it with my wheel, but I find once I have everything else set up on this on the desk, it doesn't leave me a whole lot of room. Now go. We'll do headlands, a couple of headlands after. I will do, skip a row and then come back around when I turn back. And that way I can cover the most area. So I do imagine that that I'll be getting the new game as soon as it comes out. Kind of excited to try the new forestry equipment. Like I said, that's what I do on my own. Excited that John Deere's in it. There we go. Hitting the ends pretty good there. Give myself a little bit more room to turn, I suppose, since I am going to do headlands afterwards. If you don't know what headlands are, at least that's what Courseplay calls it. I call it header rows. And you finish off the edge of the field afterwards or beforehand, just to give it a smooth edge. This comes especially handy when you're plowing, because the plow is in a V shape, or angled shape I should say. Or when you come up to a section like this where you are at the end of the field and it's triangular, so I'd be coming across afterwards. Back. I don't think this field will take too long. It's not that big. I played most of these games over the years. It's always fun, kind of fun. It's something you don't get to do every day. Kind of wakes up the little boy inside of me. Pretty easy going. Now I think what we'll plant here is, considering that we do have a harvester and a header, we'll just do something like soybeans or wheat. I'd like to do corn, but you'd have to buy a header for it, and I don't think we have it. And considering that we are limited on funds, I don't think that's going to be an option. So I'm going to leave that last row there till the end. We're just going to turn on our neighbor's field. Start doing the rows that I left out. And then I'll do the header trails right after. I could use a worker to do this, but I want to keep the cost down, try to increase profits. I imagine I'll be selling some of the equipment that I started with, and see if I can invest in some other stuff as soon as possible to increase productivity. One thing I'll definitely need is another field. This field is definitely not big enough to sustain me, especially considering that we're doing the seasons mod, which means that not everything gets harvested as fast as in the base game. So, just because of that, I will definitely need to invest in another field. Alright, time to do the rest of the field. I'll do this all by freehand. No need to put the mod on for that. Let's turn. I know I own this field, and I know I don't own the other side. Let's turn in here. Probably have to come back on this one. At this point in time, I don't want to lose any productive area at all. Especially where I only have this field. See, there's the patches that I was talking about that I left behind. Especially this one right here. And then this odd shaped piece of the field here. That's okay. Let's see. This right here. There we go. Get back on the road. And I'll drive right around and grab most of this. This way here. That's good. Any real farmers watching, I'm sorry, I'm butchering this. And there we go. Besides one or two patches, pretty well all cultivated. So let's lift that up, and let's head her back to the farm. Well, that was good. Now let's see if we can't get some seed in the ground. Looks like we got two here. Oh, we do have a corn seeder and then a regular one. Do we have a corn header? We do have a corn header. Alright, so I want to know, actually the seasons menu is a little bit better. Let's find out the best bang for the buck right now. So corn gets harvested right in here. And we could sell it for just around $700 per 1,000 liters. Now soybeans, we can't sell in the winter very well. They're still better than the corn, but their peak is right in the summer at over 1,500. Canola is the overall best, but we don't get a big yield out of it, so we might actually just grow some soybeans. Make this field soybeans. We'll have to sell it this summer, which means it's going to be over a year before we get our money back. But in the meantime, we can convert our grass field number 1 into a usable field, and we'll see if we can get some investments to buy ourselves another field. Let's back in. Good there. We could do soybeans with this one too, I suppose. let's do that. Instead of driving around and fiddling around with all this, let's just use that. I'll have to refill it. And there we go, 240 liters of soybeans. Oh, gotta keep that down, that's a heavy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I thought we had fertilizer in here. Goodness. Could those gates be any slower? No, I guess we're not going to fertilize. Oh, that's not good. I'll have to go slow. The seeder's a little bit heavy for the tractor. Hope we're not going to have any power issues. No. Doesn't look like we will have that. It's just going to be a balancing act. Ooh. Who doesn't love popping some wheelies? So, alright. Let's plant some soybeans. Come up to the edge of the field here. The seeder. Turn. Oh man. This is going to be tough. I imagine what I'll have to do is I'll have to leave the seeder down, but I'm going to turn it off because I don't want to have crooked rows everywhere. Pretty good going though, not too bad. Gets no problem hauling it, it's just the weight when it's lifted up. It's a pretty big beast though, isn't it? That seeder. Alright. Stop here. I'm gonna turn it off. I'll have to turn this way. Go. Now I'm going to keep doing this and then I'll skip ahead so you guys don't have to watch this. So I started making my way back, filling in the empty rows. So far so good. Easy going. Not even halfway through our seed sit, so that's good. thing that sucks about this field is this tree line. It makes it a little bit harder to turn a tractor. So obviously we do not want to take out our equipment with branches. Tractors run pretty good though. Alright, let's start doing the odds and ends of the field. So we're going to go around, we're going to get the edge of the field here. Clean up this little triangle here. Not going to worry about it too much. Let's head on up edge of the field. Clean up that edge there. Here. GPS on. Straight edge. I might actually come back and grab that little bit there. Let's get this first. This one. Oh. Stuff up here. Good. Turn. Do the same thing over here. And let's head on up the field. Well, and that's it for this one. Figure might as well just make it a quick introductory video. And I think in the next episode we'll do a couple missions, see if we can't make some money. Mostly want to buy another field, thinking just in this area, probably this field right here will do. And see if we can't make some profits around here. Alright, see you guys in the next one.